Yo, what is going on, guys? Update 20.0 is here. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the patch notes and give my take on the balance changes. So this update introduced a new hero. So let's take a look here. So basically, new hero, extreme mode added to Odyssey, and I believe it's basically like the challenge ISAP did, where once you use your monkey, like you can't use it again. Inferno was reworked so that you no longer need quantity to start in chimps. So let's start with the balance changes now. So Dart Monkey, the Spike Bolt got a small buff. So the battle path, they're trying to increase the projectile speed in order to reduce the whiffs. Okay, really big bombs, small buff there, nothing special. Okay, this one is pretty significant. So Mob Mauler got nerfed to the ceramic damage. So from 5 to 4, this is a 20% nerf. Mob Assassin got buffed, no one cares. This probably does nothing. And Mob Eliminator, good buff to see here. But again, it's very tiny, it's probably not gonna make a big difference. So yeah, Mob Eliminator will probably still suck. So nothing special. The next, let's take a look at the tax shooter. Okay, so they buffed the middle crosspath, where if you get range, it also now increases the pierce. I did test this in Sandbox and found that the 520 is still the better crosspath than the 502. Same with 420 versus 402. So didn't change much. Blue Gunner. Okay, saying it's outclassed by the biggest one. Good point. I did mention this as well. So this is a pretty good buff to see. Price reduction. Another price buff. Pretty good buffs here. Now I don't quite understand this part. Firing 2 projectiles. I don't think this is like a very clear-cut buff. So it shouldn't really matter. I mean, I don't think he's, noticeably better than he was before, aside from the price reduction. And now Sniper Monkey did get a pretty significant buff to the base tower. As you can see here, the 000 sniper now fires a little bit faster, and this is actually pretty significant because it actually makes the muddy puddles and bloody puddles early game a little bit easier, and it probably also makes ouch easier, but I haven't tested that just yet. And here Cripple Moab got a buff, but it's nothing special. Now Monkey Sub, yeah, Sub Commander did get nerfed, so the Pierce buff reduced from 5 to 4. I guess it's a slight nerf. Not sure how significant it is. But as I say, the goal of this is to make the AP darts more efficient than the 203 subs under Sub Commander. So kind of makes sense. But this is not the only thing that Sub Commander is getting nerfed on. You'll see in a second that Sub Commander is actually got nerfed much more than this. Let's look at the Heli Pilot. Downdraft got nerfed quite a lot here actually. Looking at the 030, the blowback rate reduced from 0.125 to 0.15. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but this is actually very significant. Like I went in game and I tested this, and the blowback is much slower. It's very noticeable. I think they went overboard with this nerf. I don't think this was a good nerf at all. They did re-add the blowback rate with the 032, but again, this is just not good. I mean, basically to get the same thing as before, you have to spend like $700 more, which is a lot of money, especially during the early mid game. So definitely matters. Definitely not a good nerf here. And here Comanche defense buffed a little bit. This is pretty good to see. They should do more. I don't think this is like a game changer. Pretty sure Comanche defense still sucks. So anyways, let's look at the wizard. Okay, Deep Breath. More Pierce, this is good. I think Deep Breath is actually, well, it was already like not too bad, but now I think this just made it a little better. Ability saving, this is good. I think Summon Phoenix really needs a buff, so they should probably look into that. But yeah, Deep Breath buff here, this is good. Shimmer price reduction. Okay, this is good, but they can do more. I think it's just like not worth it over a decamo sub in pretty much any situation. And I mean, you go for a camo village most of the time. So yeah, Shimmer definitely, this is a good start, but my opinion, the price could be reduced even further to make it worth it compared to the other options. So now let's move on to the Super Monkey. Let's see. Yeah, so separate targeting for both arms for the middle path Global Monkey. And so this is definitely a step in the right direction, but this is not as big of a buff as it may seem, because you can't target both arms for the same, like to the same targeting. You can't have like both arms on first, for example. So here, look, this one's on first, and this one, there's no first. You can't choose first. Close, strong, last. Yeah, so it's better than what it was before, but I would really like first also to be an option for the other arm. So looking at Dark Knight, Pierce was increased from 3 to 5, and this does not affect the Dank champion. So this buff does sound pretty good, but it's not actually as significant as you might think. So in 18.0, Oben actually got nerfed to where his buff only gives +2 Pierce instead of +3. So you can look at this as rather a +1 Pierce instead of a +2. And if we put this in a real context, like in a real situation, you would use a Dark Knight with probably Oben and a 400 Alchemist, and you will also get the crosspath, the plasma crosspath on it, like the 203. So actually this buff is not very significant, even though it might look like it, because let's add it up. 203 already had 5 Pierce. Let's add the old Oben, pre-nerf Oben, which is +3, so that's 8, and Alchemist is +3, plus 11. So yeah, 11. So already, like before, it already had effectively 11 Pierce, and yet it was still pretty damn underpowered. So what you can look at this as is 11 to 12 Pierce. Is that really going to change much? Is Dark Knight no longer going to be underpowered? I don't think so. So now looking at the Alchemist. So Alchemist was the best tower in the game. Probably still is. But yeah, it did get nerfed pretty noticeably this update. Now this Berserker Brew nerf I really just don't get, because the Berserker Brew wasn't actually OP. Stronger Stimulant was arguably OP, I agree, but Berserker Brew was actually comparatively weak compared to the Stronger Stimulant, mainly due to having very poor uptime on most towers. So I do not believe this nerf to Berserker Brew was necessary. Stronger Stimulant nerf, I mean, was bound to happen. It was gonna happen eventually, but I do not exactly agree with the way they did it. I thought what they should have done was just to increase the upgrade price a little bit, $300 to $500, something like that. That would have been fine. So I do not like the way they did this. What interactions this changes? So far, from what we know, it has negatively affected the Bloody Puddle's Black Border strategy with the Sub Commander and Sun Avatar. So basically what happens is the Alchemist is noticeably weaker on subs. So if it's buffing, for example, 2 subs or more, well, yeah, 2 subs, the uptime is noticeably less. So it will time out quite a bit more often than before, which makes the strat more RNG. So now they also added, so now to quote unquote compensate for this nerf, they buffed the middle cross path, but I don't think this actually does anything. So from my testing, the middle cross path does mostly nothing. The only situation where it actually does anything is if you have 2 alch buffs buffing the same tower, and it has to be a fast attacking tower, for example Sun Avatar or Pashi Prime, maybe Taxome, basically a fast attacking tower. You have 2 alchs buffing that tower, and if you get both of them to 420, you will see a slight buff. Now from what I've seen, it's usually like a 5% buff, so nothing more than 10%, so you know it's probably not even worth it. But it is something to note. Even though 402 is noticeably weaker than it used to be, it is still better than the 420, and some pretty basic nerfs, or not nerfs, pretty basic buffs to the engineer. It all looks pretty good. Step in the right direction again. These definitely needed buffs. They probably need to be buffed even more than this, but this is a good start, of course. And yeah, I mean, yeah, Sentry Expert definitely needs to be buffed way more than this. What is this? Increased range? Sounds pretty useless. Okay, overclock ability saves. I really like this. This is really good. Good job, NK, for doing this. So now we will look at Admiral Brickle. She actually got completely gutted in my opinion. I mean, yeah, she just got nerfed really hard here. The level 3 nerf, this makes sense, I agree. Now, the level 14 nerf, I just don't get. I mean, 15 to 12 seconds, this is just ridiculous. Now, you might be like, whoa, it's just 3 seconds, like, it's not a lot, like, what's wrong with you? But actually, 3 seconds is a lot. And if we take the Pat level 14 nerf as an example, right, he got nerfed by 2 seconds from 12 to 10, and the uptime was very immediately noticeable. It's a lot less, and a bunch of interactions were negatively impacted. So I do think they went overboard with this duration nerf. I think something like 15 to 14, maybe 13, 15 to 13 would be more appropriate. So getting back to the sub commander, even though he seems like he only got nerfed a little bit this update, he actually got nerfed quite a lot indirectly. So for example, the Alchemist nerf, as I mentioned, it drastically reduces the uptime of the up buff if you have multiple subs. So that definitely is noticeable. And the other nerf is the Brickle nerf with the naval tactics, which you usually do use in sub commander strategies. And yeah, since the Alpha nerf and the Brickle nerf are both very significant, they also indirectly nerf the sub commander. But it is worth noting that they still have not fixed the AP darts bug, and I'm not sure if they're going to at this point. I don't think they should, because they already, you know, nerfed Alchemist and Brickle a lot, so it wouldn't make a lot of sense to then fix that bug, which would drastically weaken the sub commander, but who knows. So to end the video, I'm going to talk about the new hero at Tien, and yeah, I'm going to say I'm very disappointed. I mean, I think he's absolute garbage right now. And basically, I have a number of issues with him. Well, to start off, he has basically no early to mid, and his late game isn't even actually that good. Like, he's worse than he's much worse than Adora in every single way. And for reference, Adora was already considered one of the worst heroes in the game. So imagine being way worse than the already worst hero in the game. I mean, yeah, that's not good. Not good. Now, at level 20, you would think this is good, right? Perma UCAV. But the Perma UCAV, it's not the buffed level 17 one. It's actually the level 10 one. And while this level 10 UCAV is pretty decent for mid game, once you get to the late game, it falls off a lot, so it's not that useful anymore. So this Perma UCAV is like not good. It's bad. And there's also, I don't know if it's a bug, but the activated ability has less uptime at level 20. And the level 20 is not very good at all. It's actually quite a bit weaker than Adora's level 20. So basically, I mean, he's basically much weaker than Adora in every phase of the game, right? Like for his early game, you know, he's got like nothing. So let's just see that here. Let's get up to level 20. Let's give him all the buffs we can. So Homeland. Actually, he doesn't even get out buffed, so okay. Let's use everything here. So that was pretty good burst damage there. But now look at what happens when we don't have our abilities. Look at how weak it is. I mean, this is just pathetic. what can I say? So yep. So now let's test Adora. Let's see how much better Adora is. Send out around 98. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So now let's see here. Let's see how much stronger she is. Okay, we can see there. We can see she took out way more of the fortifieds. And with the ability, she took out the Zeomgs and the fortifieds a lot faster, and she took out more of them, more of the fortified VIPs. And the important thing to keep in mind here, to watch out for here, is that even with her abilities down, she's able to handle all of these remaining fortified VIPs. You can see here that she's just overall much stronger, much better in every single way. So I mean, yeah, she completely soloed around. And the problem with this is that Adora was already considered one of the worst heroes, like I said. So if a TN is much worse than her, then what does that make him? So yeah, some food for thought. So let me know what you guys think, and I hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next one.